Welcome to another episode of The Happy Butcher. Today the hunter brought us in a nice size, well, rather small size female deer. I say close to 50 kilograms. He got it with a bullet to the head. So thanks to the hunter for this one. And let's get at it. So, I've been listening to some podcasts. I listened to a lot of Joe Rogan recently. I bet you this one's carrying. And of course I hear a lot of manly stuff. And I've always been big on different types of diets, different ways to adjust your body for getting more energy, changing your diet. And one of the diets that really caught my eye was the carnivore diet. It sounds cool, you know. Everyone wants to be like a carnivore, be like how a dog or a cat eats. Sounds real cool. Very appealing to guys like me. Certainly sounds a lot more appealing than keto or vegan. But it is basically the same thing as a keto diet. In case you don't know what it is, let me just explain it real quick. So the carnivore diet is your body, instead of getting energy from carbs and sugars, like most people in the world do, is you're gonna change your body to get energy from basically protein and oils almost exclusively. So, but the proteins have to come from grass-fed, very natural organic animals. And the fats you take in should be animal fats, basically, not seed oils. Apparently seed oils have a lot of problems, cause inflammation and a lot of different problems. And the carnivore diet reduces a lot of inflammation and has a lot of benefits, they say. So anyway, since I'm an always constant supply of grass-fed animal meat, all natural, and my restaurant can get free lard from our local butcher, the carnivore diet, which would be more expensive to most people, is dirt cheap. I mean, free for me. Basically, it's free. And you know, I'm just stacked with tons of meat in my freezer, and constantly have a supply, constantly selling to all different buyers. So I guess you could say I'm in an ideal position to try this diet out. So read a lot about it, and I am on day 3 of the carnivore diet. And you know, I love carbs. I'm a rice boy, being an Asian. So it was a little bit something I really didn't want to do, but I've always been interested in trying new diets, and I've always been interested in fasting. So they said the biggest part is a peace of mind you feel. kind of peace you would feel from this carnivore diet. And that's because of reduced inflammation. And that made a lot of sense, because if you're no longer processing carbs, your digestive system is obviously going to be working a little bit different. So that's what, got me interested. It's the same premise as keto. You're eliminating carbs and changing your energy source. So, yeah, you're just basically taking in meat and oils only. I cheat a little bit. I mean, I take in some salads. I take in some salads. Sorry, let me get this head off. Bam, number 3. That's a clean cut. Ooh, it's a lot of blood. Oops. Oh, oof. That's bile that came out of the mouth. Doesn't look good. Anyways, yeah. So, yeah, I didn't think it'd be easy for me, but I have always tried a lot of weird diets, so I thought I'd give it a go. Anything to reduce inflammation and peace of mind is interesting in my book. So I started, I'm on day 3, like I said before, and this knife is not sharp. Day 1 was really hard. I had trouble focusing, eating so much fatty stuff. I felt a little sick. That was to be expected. So I kind of got through that day, and I had a lot of mental fog, as expected. Day 2 was a little bit better. I had some moments of clarity, I guess you can say, like peaceful, quiet mind. I was like, whoa, it's already day 2 and I'm through it. But that certainly wasn't the case. Kind of relapsed. I mean, relapsed as in more mental fog. And, the hardest thing was just getting down. The meat was fine. The meat tastes great. Deer meat tastes great. The oil was just a problem. So I rendered, tick. Oof. Oh, that was almost on me. Oof. I hate ticks. I rendered some beef tendon. I usually cut up myself, and got a lot of beef tallow from it, so that was cool. And let it solidify into basically like, looks like a lard. And it doesn't taste bad. It's just like, fatty stuff, but it's liquid, So I would pour it, heat it up, and pour it on my meat and eat it that way, which is okay, but it like doesn't absorb the meat so well into the meat so well, so you're left with a big soupy oil at the bottom of the plate, and I would end up drinking that. I mean, I'm used to kind of drinking oil, but that was kind of disgusting. So that was a huge obstacle for me, and you have this weird oily funky mouth, and that wasn't so nice, So today I thought of the interesting idea of getting like a bacon fat dressing recipe. I've heard of those, really fatty dressings. So I figured I could just pour it on my salad and eat it that way. So I made kind of a fatty beef tallow vinaigrette. I tried a little bit. It's not bad. Haven't tried it on a salad yet, but I'm looking forward to it. But what I did to make it a little bit more palatable was basically taking the fat, melting it, and then making it into like a A1 sauce, a homemade A1 sauce, where you take Worcestershire sauce and a little bit of ketchup, sugar. I'm not sure, ketchup and salt. Yeah, I know it's cheating. Ketchup has a lot of sugar in it, but it's negligible. I mean, basically, most of the calories are not coming from the sugars in that sauce. It's coming from the oils and the protein. So, I'll allow a small percent of carbs in the sauce. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. I'm not a hardcore carnivoreist. Carnivore, whatever. So I poured that over the meat today and coated it real good. The oily taste was kind of gone, and it was way more palatable. So it was really a big win for getting it down a lot easier. So anyways, the first day was pretty heavy brain fog. The second day, I had some moments of clarity, which was really cool. I felt like my allergies were disappearing, but one thing I noticed a lot that was really cool was that I have like chronic rhinitis. Like my nose is always stuffed up. And it still is kind of stuffed up because of the allergies right now, but even with the allergies, it's a lot less stuffed up than it used to be. So I think I'm feeling a big decrease in inflammation. So that's awesome. And I think my blood pressure went down. I don't know for sure, but I could feel it's going down. My heart rate slows. My body feels cooler. Like, I feel colder sometimes. I guess that's a decreased heart rate type of thing. So, yeah, metabolically, my body seems to be changing quite a bit. And now I'm on the 4th day now. Yeah, I think my body is like kind of adjusted. This morning, though, I had this weird slow hunger come back from, I was getting hungry, basically. I knew my body needed the oil to replenish itself. So I kind of had a little bit of craving in the morning. And yeah, I ate a bunch of the meat and oil around 10 or 11 a.m. And then I had a huge, what was it? I could feel the energy slowly come back, and I had a huge brain fog happen to me, which was really not cool. I mean, like, so heavy brain fog, I just couldn't respond properly. It's like I couldn't access the hard drive in my brain. That wasn't too cool. And yeah, it was a little bit disassociating to be in such a weird condition like that. But slowly throughout the day, that brain fog lifted. My energy went up. And I was busy at work, so I didn't have the time to really eat. So basically that 10 a.m. meal, almost until 12 hours later, gave me enough energy to get through the whole day. And I wasn't even hungry by the end of the day, which is really cool, because by the end of my night shift, I'm usually starving and just stuffing carbs down my throat. With the carnivore diet, I wasn't like that. So that was like awesome. I wasn't hungry. And one thing I notice a lot is that my mind is more quieter because my stomach is quieter. If you've ever fasted and when you're fasting and you have no food in your stomach to digest, you really notice how much energy your body uses to digest food. And a lot of that energy that would be otherwise used for brain power or whatever, body power or healing or whatever, is taken away from you because of digestion, particularly with a lot of carbohydrates. But because the amount of, I guess, protein and oil is just so small, I mean, I calculated out, it's about, they say half the calories should come from protein, the other half should come from oils, animal fats, basically. So according to my calculations, about 500 grams for a 2,000 calorie, a little over 2,000 calorie limit. Basically, it works out to 500 grams of deer meat. I just boiled deer meat. 500 grams of deer meat. And oh yeah. Ew. 500 grams of deer meat, and what was it? 120 grams of animal fat. So 500 grams of deer meat is about 1,000 calories, and only 120 grams of maybe lard or beef tallow. That's basically 900 calories or so. And there's hardly any fat in deer meat, so it's like rabbit meat. You're not going to get any fat out of the meat. So yeah, basically that's all you really need is a half kilogram here. Branch is breaking, something's outside. Half a kilogram of wild meat. It could be grass-fed, whatever, beef or whatever. I have deer, so I eat deer. And yeah, 120 grams of oils. So try to down that every day. And it's a lot easier than I expected. I mean, I drank olive oil for health at one time, trying to be like an Italian, I guess. That was horrible. I felt like sick or some chemotherapy type of shit with that. But with the animal fat, it just goes down a lot easier. And it's interesting because when I took in a lot of fat before, I'd get sick because I had carbs with it and my body wasn't used to it. But now, it's only been day 4, I could say my body is kind of efficiently converting with the, keto, whatever, is converting the oils in my blood more effectively into energy. It comes a lot slower. So I guess the trick is to feed your body with that oil energy before it starts to get hungry again. Otherwise, you could experience some kind of crash like I experienced this morning. And you have to wait a long time for that energy to come back to you. Sometimes half a day. Whereas if you're just taking carbs, carb energy just comes like 15-20 minutes. You feel that rush of energy and that sugar coursing through your veins, and you feel that energy just fly back into you. You just realize like carbs are like a drug. And I don't know, the best analogy I could give it is eating carbs is like burning paper for warmth. You need a lot of paper. It burns up quickly and it creates a lot of garbage. Whereas something like this carnivore diet, it's like burning a wooden log or something. It takes longer to light, but when it's lit, it burns for a long time. And it creates a lot less garbage because it's just a single log. So, and it gives off a lot more energy for a smaller amount. Like if you ever try to burn a whole bunch of paper, man, it's just such a pain in the ass. It only burns the front side, and then you have to flip the pages around. I mean, stir up the paper so it'll burn properly, and it creates all this freaking garbage and papers fly everywhere, and it's a horrible way to make a fire. But if you've had experience with campfires and ouch, and logs, yeah, they take a lot longer to light. You need kindling, but when you get them lit, they stay lit for a long time. So that's kind of how I feel the carnivore diet is. Even more effective than maybe the keto diet, because you don't need that many things. You just need 2 things: meat and fat, or fatty meat, I guess. I bet you $1 billion this one is carrying something. And for those who don't like it, tough luck. There it is. I knew it. I don't know how I knew it, but I knew there was something in here. And that looks huge. Wow, that looks like a large fowl. Wow, that is large. Okay, so in tradition, we're gonna see our daily dose of reality. Our daily dose of reality. Okay. Yeah, oh, it's a lot smaller than usual. Little tail. A little peepee. I don't know if that's a male or a female. Maybe it's a male. It's got a little peepee. Hey, little guy. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I heard in the carnivore diet you're allowed to have between 20 and 50 grams of carbs a day. So I do allow myself. I'm not super strict carnivore diet guy. I do allow myself some carbs, some fruits and vegetables, because honestly, I want to shit. Shitting is nice. I don't want to be constipated all the time, so yeah, I do eat a little bit of carbs. And I don't feel guilty about it, whatever. For those hardcore people, good for you. I'm just gonna do what's sustainable for me. So yeah, I heard it usually takes like weeks to get your body used to it. I mean, I know my body's not completely adjusted to it, but it's adjusted a lot faster than I thought it would. I mean, I feel like by the end of the week, I might be completely adjusted if I could find a good sweet spot as far as like good fat and good fat and good meat, a good ratio, proportion. I think I've kind of found it, basically. It's a lot of shit. So, yeah, shooting for 2,000 calories. I think I used a lot more, but try it out for now, see how it goes. And hopefully it'll be okay. Wow, this is a real soup of a graveyard I have here. Surprised there aren't more maggots. I don't know. That is weird. When it comes summer, this is going to be just an absolute nightmare. Hopefully the owner doesn't get too pissed off at me. I don't think he comes up here that much, but it'll probably be stinky as hell. Oof. What's been kind of funny about this carnivore diet so far is that regular things fuck me up now. Like today, I thought I'd give myself a little treat and eat a banana. Boy, that didn't go down well. It's like, maybe I'm kind of understanding why they're not allowing such like fruits and vegetables. Because, dogs and carnivores don't eat those things. I kind of understand why. It kind of messes with you a bit. It's like, it's like either or. You're either an omnivore or you're a carnivore. At least like in nature, it seems that way, You're either one or the other. You're a cow and you eat grass, or you're a wolf and you just eat meat. So, humans can do both. Chimps too, I guess. Animals like that. But I guess there's a reason why they stay to one or the other. I guess your body is, what is it? Changing between different hormones, hormone balance. I don't know. Maybe something along those lines. So, yeah, either stick to one or the other. I guess that makes sense. But if I could find a good balance, salads don't seem to mess me up. Fruit seemed to mess me up a little bit. So I'll just, slowly, little by little, find out what works and what doesn't work. And, everyone's different in those instances. I ate cake on the second day, and oh man, that fucked me up. I just had explosive diarrhea. That was horrible. Never do that again. Yeah, so that was a burst of sugar and carbs and all the bad things that I'm trying to stay away from. But it was my mother-in-law's birthday, so, I kind of wanted to not ruin the moment, especially when you're offered cake. Seems like you don't want to celebrate with them, So I kind of hawked it down. I didn't really feel the rush and high of a carb fix like I thought I would. I definitely felt that when I ate rice, though. And, yeah, the next, in the evening, just a few hours after that, explosive diarrhea, and it was not good. So, just try to avoid those situations as much as I can. I mean, if I go out with my family, yeah, I'll try to eat what they're having, just not to isolate myself too much. And, I know what it's like being around those people, maybe vegetarians or vegans, and it's just such a pain in the ass, and, you feel like you can't relate to them, and I definitely don't want to be like that, so I don't go out that often. So yeah, if my family goes out to dinner, I think just to be polite and normal, eat whatever else everyone is eating, maybe smaller quantities. So I don't know, I feel this is definitely a manageable thing, and the carnivore diet, and I really think the benefits will outweigh the bad points, because yeah, I kind of do feel like as if I am in the middle of fasting. I think that's what it is, because when you're fasting, your body produces a lot of, what is it, ketones, I think it's called, to help you better digest oils or fats in your body as a survival technique. So it's like your body is in constant survival mode. And since I'm basically always in survival mode anyways, it seems to go well with my lifestyle. And it's kind of cool to think that I could pretty much survive with whatever's around me if I only rely on meat and oils. So it's a really self-sustaining option. I think you do need some vitamin C though, but definitely get that in the form of some salads. So you don't need a lot to survive. I mean, it's like less than a kilogram of food to provide all the energy you need in a day. It's pretty amazing. It's a lot less than my typical normal diet. Probably, I would have to consume twice that amount of food in the weight. Of course, for most people, the carnivore diet is prohibitive because it's too expensive. But I just happen to be in a position where it's basically free. My butcher said he'll give me all the lard I want for free. So, hell, my biggest calorie source is free. That's pretty crazy, huh? Who would ever thought that? And I would have never thought that the thing I hated the most, fats and meats, which I have been hating the most since I'm a big carb eater, which was once my foe, suddenly become my friend. Suddenly I'm craving to suck down all of that oily goodness. Before I would just definitely stay away from it because I'd feel ill. Now it gives me energy. And that's just crazy. It's just crazy to think it's like a paradigm shift for your body. Real paradigm shift. Meats and fats suddenly make you healthier than the carbs and vegetables I've been eating. It's like, wow, okay. So, well, who knows how it'll affect me long term, but I have a strange feeling this could be a long run, long haul kind of thing because of the energy. Right now, if I'm feeling this much mental clarity, I'm only 4 days in. Imagine 1 month in, imagine 6 months in, imagine 1 year in. I mean, and I got this like really down to a science, making some really delicious ways to eat animal fats. Oh yeah, I could imagine some really good things down the line as far as inflammation is concerned. I mean, inflammation has been kind of a big problem in my life. My nose, rhinitis, it's always been pretty bad. I've always had to use sprays and medicines, and it affected my sleep apnea. I'm not fat, but apparently I have like a lot of inflammation because I would have to kind of wear a stent in my nose to keep it open enough for me to breathe properly at night to sleep. Because for the longest time I wasn't breathing properly and I wasn't getting enough sleep, and it happens to a lot of people, especially overweight people. And if you've experienced that, you know it's really unpleasant. So that was kind of like my biggest concern with inflammation as far as that's concerned. And well, basically according to how I feel now, my body's working less and my digestion system is working less, so it leaves a lot more energy. I could definitely feel a lot less inflammation in my body. I guess that was caused by the carbs, I suppose, or my body overworking or expending too much energy in digestion. I don't know how that works. But definitely, as I got older, I noticed my digestion efficiency definitely went down. In my 30s, when, before in my 20s, I could eat anything. In my 30s, I just couldn't handle some things. I go out to a all-you-can-eat steak restaurant, and I could eat all the steaks I wanted, no problem, no consequences, all the oily foods I wanted, no problem. But nowadays, I couldn't do that. So I noticed, my body was changing a lot. It's getting older. Had to eat more fish, had to eat more vegetables and healthy stuff. And that was the textbook thing, But then something like this comes along that's really controversial. On its surface, on the surface, it doesn't seem like a good idea to eat things that have been proven to give you heart disease and high cholesterol. But the crazy thing is about the carnivore diet is it's actually cured people with like diabetes. It's actually cured people with like serious obesity, severely reduced rheumatism, made people a little bit less, given a lot less pain because of inflammation. Inflammation is just, I think that's the killer. And really, where do we know where it comes from? And according to a lot of specialists, they say it comes from seed oils. That's why the oil source for carnivore diet cannot come from seeds. So canola oil, all that stuff is out. So it's got to be animal fats. And since, we we have an innate craving for like fatty foods, you got to think that that must at one point have been a survival thing, you know? Like, that was healthy to eat those things. Was it just survival? I don't know, but according to this carnivore diet, it seems that the animal fat is actually really healthy fat. And the seed fats, vegetable oils, are not so healthy. So it's a big shift, you know? But according to all the inflammation I've been feeling these days, fuck, I have too many bones. Fuck it. It seems that maybe that's true. So far, I feel great. My stomach is quiet. Hardly need to digest anything. It's just such a small quantity. A lot less energy digesting the foods. I have more energy. Generally feel healthier. And it seems to be everything it's been claimed to be so far. We'll see how it goes from here, but for me, it's looking mighty optimistic. So I'm really thinking how to use this meat for my own diet, because according to my calculations, I'm going to need 15 kilograms a month of deer meat. So I definitely have to plan for that. And try to get myself, you know, tasty cuts. Tastier the better. They say, you know, the liver is full of fat, so that's good. But I just don't like the taste of liver. And they say not to eat too much, so good to be careful with that one. Okay. And these intestines aren't the freshest things in the world, so you definitely want fresher intestines. So this is going to be labeled as dog food. Maybe we'll use the smaller ones for the carnivore food. Cut it in smaller pieces so it's a little bit easier to boil down and cut up. Because if they're in big chunks, it takes a lot longer to boil it down. But if they're a little bit, you know, a little bit reddish on the inside, it's okay. It cooks like a ham. And I know the heat went through. And a little reddish area, it's kind of tasty, so I'll go with it. So this is all the prime meat, putting it in the small bags. Looking good. I used to cut these up into really thin pieces and make like a beef bowl or something like that, but gosh, it's kind of a pain in the ass to cut it up in small pieces, especially when they're frozen. It takes a lot of effort, so I just find it easier. I just boil it all down and cut it later, and it's just a lot faster and sustainable. And that's what it's all about, you know. If it's too difficult, nobody's going to do it, so you just have to make the process as sustainable as possible, as streamlined as possible, as non-effortless as possible. And if it's not like that, it's just such a chore to do. So you just have to kind of make it easier for yourself. And you know, if you got to cut a few corners, take in a little bit of sugar, a little bit of carbs, whatever. As long as the main purpose of getting your body to be in a ketonic state, I guess, is there, then it's all good. So stressing yourself about being the perfect carnivore diet person could deter you from leading a good, healthy life, which is basically the purpose of it all. right? To be healthier. And I think that goes for life too, you know? Don't try to be perfect at everything. Just do your best, make adjustments, and make it the right fit for you. Because if you don't, then it'll be too hard and you're going to quit. So, good to make it sustainable and not too difficult. Alrighty. Almost done. So yeah, from my perspective, I mean my personal experience, I highly recommend the carnivore diet. I've tried vegetarian diets a lot. I've failed a lot with vegetarian diets. I mean, I just couldn't get enough energy. I use a lot of physical and mental power. And unfortunately, only vegetables, beans particularly, was just not enough to give me what I needed. So, yeah, this carnivore diet seems to be hitting the spot. It gives me shit tons of energy. My body is quiet as hell, which means my mind is quiet as hell, which is awesome for relaxation and peace. And yeah, I think we have a winner. And we'll roll with it until maybe it doesn't go right with it, but I guess we can make an adjustment there. So for now, yeah, I'll keep you updated. See how I feel the next couple of days, couple weeks, couple months, but I have a feeling I'll be going long term with it. And less inflammation, will be a much happier person. That's for sure. I mean, the reason why I'm doing it is a spiritual endeavor as well. You know, it's just if your mind and body are not in harmony, it's hard to get to the state you want to be, which is, you know, peace, enlightenment, and all that stuff. So all of, you know, what I do is for that purpose and goal. So hope you understand. This talk is very connected to the whole point of this podcast or YouTube channel, which is spirituality and enlightenment. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening and take care. Peace.